May the gains be with you, my young Padawan.
Grandmaster-OBI, Jedi Knight of the stock market.
With the post-market earnings on Wednesday for AMC, I think you guys may want to stick around and hear my options trading strategy, which I do feel as though is going to offer a great return. Also, we're going to take a brief look and check out PHUN. And if you're currently planning on holding this thing throughout the election, you really want to listen to what I have to say here in today's video. I'm going to be giving you a great options trading strategy that is certainly going to give you the edge that you need here for this week. So stick around. We're going to talk about it. And also, if you're currently holding DJT, I got you covered. Make sure you get over to my main YouTube channel, which is called Making Easy Money. I will have the video link posted at the end of this video. My latest DJT update, it premieres in about 30 minutes. So I'm going to make it easy for everyone out there and have it pinned at the end of this video. So with no further ado, let's dive right in. First stock we're going to talk about here in today's video is PHUN. And as you all know, this mid-Bollinger break isn't anything good at all. In fact, if it wasn't for speculation of this election here in 2 days, basically something like this would be. But in all reality, with only 2 full trading days left before the election is all said and done, we expect to see things get much worse or a major rally. We're not going to see any type of consolidation here in PHUN nor DJT, ladies and gentlemen. Let's face it, these next 2 days is either going to be a massive short cover wave due to the fact that these heavy profitable short positions are basically not trying to risk things off on the election. They're sitting good. It's time to take profits ahead of the election, which can spark that rally. Also, don't overlook the race to sell. As you all know, from the beginning of this entire rally, a lot of retail investors were aware of we were going to face a race to sell heading into or shortly after the election. Now, that was likely to actually happen if we were on a uptrend, but that isn't the case here. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, those that is currently in a race to sell is not the longs, but the short sellers. Well, in short sellers' case, buy back their position, which is ultimately their race to sell. And before we get into PHUN's option strategy, guys, I want to just reveal my AMC's option strategy to you guys first. And it is 2, and they're on both sides of the fence, with the call option being a shorter term strategy and the put option being a slightly longer strategy. I find this being very effective each and every time AMC has an earnings report for the last 6 earnings. Now, let's make this very clear. These last 3 consecutive earnings reports, AMC has beaten revenue expectations, which would have you wondering, so why would I be interested in puts? Well, ladies and gentlemen, AMC hasn't had a post-market rally since 2022. With that also being said, the reason why we're looking into calls on the short-term side of things is because we do have a election the previous day of AMC's earnings report, and seeing as though that AMC's expectations for Q3 is pretty darn high for the revenue, and if AMC actually beats that, I do feel as though that we're going to see a run take place, but not a long run, ladies and gentlemen. I do feel as though that shortly after earnings, AMC is going to be headed back towards the downside. And this is going to be a great money-making opportunity that you do not want to miss out on. So first things first, let's talk about those calls. Now, if we go check things out, we're looking for the 11/08 expiration date. And ladies and gentlemen, we're looking for that $5 call option. All right. Now, What I expect to actually take place here far as price action, if we go to our price calculator here, and this is a great advantage tool that Moomoo has over their competitors for a lot of you novice and beginner options traders. It makes things much easier and easier to understand. Now, let's say we see $5 here, which I do feel as though that AMC stands a very great chance to cross those $5 levels, especially if Donald Trump wins. I do feel as though that we're going to see a green C across the market. But with a great earnings report after that, I do feel as though that will set AMC around those $5 plus levels. But let's say we see $5 here on the 7th, okay? That is the next day after that post-market earnings report, and we will actually benefit around 66% in gain if that does take place. Now, the reason why I'm not putting things too high up there because I haven't seen a solid post-market run in AMC throughout beating earnings expectations. So that is why we have the longer put options out there, and this is all going to make sense. Now, let's say things really get bullish here for AMC and we see levels around $6 by the 7th. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this contract will fetch around 740%. It's currently going for 12 cents here today, and I do feel as though that this thing is going to fetch at least 28 cents, and that is being modest. Now, far as our put option strategy here in AMC, and if you made it this far in the video, ladies and gentlemen, can you please drop down in that comment section below and comment the words "still here with you, Obi." The comments really do help the channel grow. And as a quick reminder, I will be going live over on my main YouTube channel here tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Central Time, just 1 hour before the market open. Here on Friday, well, last Friday, we called major home run alerts, such as VSTE, which was alerted during our live stream for the entry price of $2.22. And this was alerted during the pre-market at 8:13 a.m. Central Time. And if we take a brief look and check out the charts, guys, as you guys can see here, it ran as high as $8 throughout the trading day, and that is what you call home run plays. And these are the type of alerts that you are missing out on during our free live stream. So again, that live stream starts tomorrow 7:30 a.m. over on the main YouTube channel called Making Easy Money. I will have this video link posted at the end of this one. And far as our put option strategy goes, I am extremely confident with this one due to historic trading patterns. If you look on the day chart for AMC here really quickly, as you guys can see here, we do not see any type of post-market rally in quite some time. This post-market rally was solely due to Keith actually resurfacing. But if we take a brief look and check out the day chart, like I said before, no true post-market earnings rally. Even though that AMC has been beating those expectations, we tend to see a actually see a retracement after earnings here in AMC, no matter what the news is. Now, it isn't a vast downside movement, but we tend to actually see a slow but for sure move to the downside, and I do expect for that to actually take place yet again. As you guys can see here, earnings report after earnings report, we tend to actually retrace. Okay, so I'm looking for that exact same pattern to take place here in AMC, especially if we do see things fly due to the election. I do expect for things to cool down shortly after here in AMC. Now that put let me get that up for you guys. Now that put option, ladies and gentlemen, expiration is 11/29, and we are at that $4.50 strike. All right, it's currently going for 38 cents. If we take a brief look and check out our price calculator, aka our go-to, I really do feel as though by towards the end of the month, AMC should be sub $4 levels. I'm looking for $3.80 or lower on AMC due to, again, historic patterns that we have been keeping up with here. If we take a brief look and check things out, as you guys can see here, on expiration day, if AMC is around $3.80, well, ladies and gentlemen, we will fetch a 84% profit on our premium. And this is the type of hedge that you want when you're heading into earnings, especially when a presidential election is the day before and the results basically comes out the day of your earnings report. So with that being said, major catalysts in the pipeline for AMC, which is going to bring huge volatility, which is ultimately going to put this put contract in a great position to make a return for a huge profit. Okay, if we do see a rally here off of great earnings and the presidential election going how it should, that is only going to make this put option even cheaper for even a better return. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, PHUN. My put option strategy on this thing is the type of strategy, guys, you need to have that edge going into this presidential election. As you all know, stocks like DJT, PHUN, RUM, and a lot of other Donald Trump favorite stocks are only being bought due to this election and is going to be basically sold off shortly after the election, no matter what the results are. Even if he do win, we expect to see a rally the following day, but DJT, PHUN, and RUM will not be able to hold those high levels with sustainability. So what you want to go in with, ladies and gentlemen, just in case Donald Trump does lose, you want to have a put option here in PHUN. $5 strike is what we're looking for on the expiration of 11/15. Now, this thing is currently fetching for 65 cents. Now, things are going to be very volatile here in PHUN. We're not going to see $5 or $7 if things go bad or good, because the current share price, things are good, the current share price is $6.64. $7 would be a good situation. $5 would be the bad situation. We're talking between, on a good note, we could see PHUN fly towards $11. But on a bad note, ladies and gentlemen, PHUN can be headed back towards $4 levels here shortly after the election if Donald Trump loses. So if we look here at 11.06, if this thing drops around those $4 levels, because now the election is over and and Donald Trump, the reason why everyone was holding the stock, actually loses, then that sell-off is going to be much, much greater than it would have been if he would have won. We do expect a sell-off if he have won, but not at the magnitude if he loses. So $4 is being quite modest, ladies and gentlemen. Things can get much worse if he does lose. So $4 the following day, ladies and gentlemen, we will be taking over 135% in gain alone just off of that move. Now, let's say things really get out of hand. $3.50, 181%, and let's say towards the end of expiration. We're not talking about shortly after the election. Let's say he loses and this thing continues to fall towards expiration around 11:15. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we could see levels as low as $3. You have to take into consideration, before this rally even started, PHUN was around $2. But we would see around 213% in gain. Now, that's towards the end of expiration. Now, let's say he loses and we start seeing halts down here in PHUN. Well, here on the 6th, ladies and gentlemen, you will walk away with 235% in gain. Not a huge increase, but this is a great strategy that will give you an edge no matter what happens, due to the fact that if he does win, we do expect for PHUN to cross those $10 levels and head back towards those $11 levels briefly. Do not take that as those levels will be sustainable, because they are not. This is something that I've been telling you guys weeks ahead of this election. And with that being said, click the video that you see on the screen to be notified when Monday's live stream starts.